Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Thursday the 10th of June 2021. Thanks for joining me in honor of the solar eclipse that we have happening on Thursday the 10th of June. I want to use the Witch's Tarot for today's reading. Let's see what the cards have to say and what energy you'll be working with. I made a separate video on the eclipse. Have a look at that if you're interested. It's really quite a significant event. The effects of eclipses can be felt for up to 6 months. And this is really a very, very positive one. First, we've got the Queen of Swords in reverse. That's very telling. Then we have the Five of Swords in reverse. And Strength. Wow. Okay, the Queen of Swords is a really interesting court card. She's sometimes really vilified as the evil queen, because the Queen of Swords is responsible for making tough decisions, but she's not about really being malicious or focused on the self. She makes tough decisions for the greater good. So you could kind of associate her with Aquarius, being a humanitarian. You could also see her as a figure who's kind of like a judge. The sign of Gemini is also associated with her because swords has to do with air. Air is a masculine element that has to do with communication, the way you think, the way you express yourself, the way you see the world. There's this beautiful sword in the center here, and it's got two edges. Obviously, it's got a blade on either side. So she's fair in her thinking. She looks at both sides of any argument. She looks at the impact of her actions. She thinks ahead. She's someone who really is interested in using her intellect and her mind and her experience to make things better for herself and for other people, to keep them fair, and to look at things reasonably and rationally, and to apply kind of logic. She's sitting on this beautiful throne here. She's got these beautiful little birds here, purple. So she's someone who's also in touch with her feelings. And we got the purple of the flowers and of the chair there. So she just doesn't rely on her intellect. She really incorporates everything, and the intellect is paramount. But she listens to her feelings. She listens to the guidance of her higher self. And she really incorporates all of that into making really brilliant decisions. We've got this little blue fairy. It's not the absinthe fairy, that would be green. It's blue. So it's about freedom of emotion, but emotions are almost like something magical and other, and they seem kind of optional on this day to the Queen of Swords. And then obviously I have to address the fact that she's super stylish and just gorgeous. So she's someone who really tries to make things appear in a certain way. And she's not about appearances, but she's about making the right decision so that she brings beauty into the world, and she makes things palatable for others, and that there's just a sense of everyone is kind of included. She's sitting on top of the mountain, so she's had to scale her way up there, and with those heels, it's probably not the easiest job in the world. So she works hard, she's diligent, and she gets things done. When she sets her mind to things, she's able to achieve her goals. So that's accessible to you today. The card is in reverse. And with the card being in reverse, we still have the Queen of Swords, obviously, but we've got the sword pointing downwards. So we've kind of got all this energy appearing and being downloaded into a single point of interest or focus. So if there is something in your life that has been problematic, or if there's something that you haven't been able to resolve, you're able to take all the power of this card and you're able to channel it into that one area of your life. You're able to channel it into that one problem, and you're really able to pinpoint it, and with laser beam focus you're able to resolve anything that has eluded you up until now. There is no mountain. There's nothing to scale. You're on top of it. Everything is, it's kind of like what are those things called in mathematics? Those circle things that you make a circle with. Maths wasn't my subject, but It's really about hitting the spot and really focusing on the detail. Also, what's interesting is with this eclipse and that happening, we have Mercury, the communication planet, in retrograde. So when it appears to be going backwards, you're able to see things differently and to approach them in a different way. And the gift that we've been given in the last few days, and I think it was last week, could have been, where we had the Ace of Swords in reverse as well. And it's really about getting something that is tiny and that really needs a lot of focus and a lot of mental strength and energy, and really being able to pinpoint it and getting to the crux and the root of the problem. So you've got this laser beam focus. Use that to resolve anything in your life that's problematic. The Five of Swords is really about serious conflict and really getting the wrong end of the stick when it comes to your perception of self. So it's often things like, oh, I'm not good enough, so I need to put other people down to feel better about myself. Or someone is correcting me and I don't like that and I already feel attacked, so I need to put them down. It's overreaction. It's behavior that's not conducive to relationships thriving and functioning properly. It's self-interest, excessive self-interest, and really looking at everything from the perspective of me. How does this affect me? We've got these 5 fairies floating around, and the 5 swords are kind of creating a fan which pushes them all away from each other. So that kind of behavior, obviously being completely self-absorbed or self-interested, isn't going to bring other people closer to you. And then we've got this, what is this, a dragonfly kind of thing? That is thinking quickly, reacting, and seizing an opportunity, but doing it in a way that's almost predatory and jumping on other people's weaknesses. That's interesting that that's coming up in this deck. I've not been aware of that before. So yeah, it's really being opportunistic and exploiting other people's weaknesses and all of these unpleasant things that are associated with the Five of Swords. Any kind of behavior where you try and puff yourself up by deflating other people. That too is in reverse, so that's brilliant because it's kind of like this fan comes back together. Again, you have one area of focus. You have this dragonfly now kind of descending or swooping down. And it's not so much about what you can get, but it's about enjoying the journey. And these 5 can kind of reconnect once the swords are kind of folding together. And it's about friendship and being able to work well with other people, and really not being so interested in cementing your role in a certain social group or social situation and saying, oh, I have to be looked at as number one and everyone needs to kind of kowtow down to me because I'm fundamentally insecure, so I need other people to make up for it through their actions. That again is going to get tedious for other people who are around someone like that. And it's like, why can't you just be one of us? Why can't we just sit here and have a nice meal? Instead of us having to kind of, you holding court and us having to kind of build you up all the time. So it's really nice because this kind of signals a day and a period that is much easier when it comes to the way you interact with other people, the way you're able to enjoy your life. You're not really overthinking every little step. You're not so harsh and blunt in your thinking. You're really able to let go a little bit. Because you have the added focus, you're able to resolve issues much more easily. And because of that, you have free time to enjoy other people and to really share your ideas and to have a good time. And to feel more secure in yourself ultimately, so that you don't need other people to give you something that's lacking within. I mean, I'm not the expert on human relationships, really. I have to put my hands up and admit that. But I really don't think that other people enjoy having someone around who feels terrible about themselves and who constantly needs reassuring and who constantly needs to kind of be propped up by other people. It's work, and if you're spending time with people just kind of on a picnic, or you're going out, you're sightseeing, whatever it may be, it's about equal partnerships, and it's about spending time with people who are happy to be there, and they add something to the situation, you add something to the situation, and you all benefit from it. And that's really what this is. It's like harmonious, wonderful existence with other people, in conjunction with other people, and really being able to soften your interactions and to have a good time, and to enjoy the wonderful aspects of other people and to see the good parts of other people. Those are going to be naturally highlighted to you. So rather than seeing the flaws or the difficulties or, negative character defects or whatever it may be, you're able to see that someone's funny, or that they're really kind, or that they're interesting, or whatever it may be. Whatever speaks to you in other people that's positive is going to be highlighted and amplified. And then we have the two best buddies ever. We have Strength, and I love the way it's drawn in this deck. You have this beautiful woman with all these red roses, so passion, and it looks like they've just come back from like a fun kind of carnival, and they've had a good time, and they're covered in red roses, so they're really having the time of their lives. It's a good friendship, and she's just sitting on a rock, relaxing, and then we've got the lion there closing its eyes and just relaxing and being happy to have a good friend and a buddy. Usually the lion in the Strength card is this monstrous beast that needs to be soothed and calmed by this super spiritual woman. Usually she's wearing a white dress, and it's because she's really able to channel loving spiritual energy, and she's able to kind of have that reside in her, that she's able to soothe the beast. It's interesting what that's reminding me of today is kind of like addiction. Like they say, if you're in recovery, if you were addicted to something and then you recover from it, and you have a drink or something, or you take pills, or you smoke a substance or whatever, then it awakens the beast. It can awaken the beast. And the only, in recovery, they say that the only solution to addiction is a spiritual solution. So this card is a wonderful example of that, because the white dress is really a symbol of spirituality, and spirituality is able to tame the beast. And that's an infinite, we've got the infinity symbol there, an infinite ability that we all have. So if we get well spiritually, then we're able to tame the inner beast. And today there's no taming required. You and your inner beast are like this. The inner beast is just purring along nicely and having a grand old time. And the two of you are able to just hang out and to have a good time. So you really calm down a lot. I'm really excited about this reading. I love it. Because it means that people are nicer to each other. Everyone's just a little bit more comfortable. And when everyone's needs are kind of met and they're not as conflicted internally, then it's easy to be nice to each other. I mean, if you're happy, it's easier to spread the happiness than to deliberately kind of acquire some sort of irritant to get cranky about. There's nothing here that says that. In fact, the Queen of Swords, who is vilified as the evil queen, is in reverse. So it's really like turning the volume down on any kind of negative emotions that you're harboring. The focus allows you to really clear the deck and to let go of some of the burdens that you may feel are holding you down. Then there's a sense of togetherness and being on the same page and having a similar experience to other people. So you feel like you're in the same boat. And then this is like the best card. I love that. It's just such a positive card. The look on her face, the little lion there just relaxing and enjoying the nature and stuff. It's really a wonderful friendship, and it kind of shows again that even situations or people or places that you haven't got on well with in the past, you're able to make peace because you're naturally well spiritually. You just feel at peace within yourself. You feel that everything's okay. You've got these glowing beads on her chest there, and that's kind of like the sacral chakra. You feel naturally in control of yourself, your feelings, your thoughts, and it just, when you're strong, everything else seems easier. I think we've all been there. Like if you're in a good place, then things may not be ideal, but you can deal with them. And then when you're at rock bottom and you can barely get out of bed, then everything seems overwhelming and difficult. And it's just like, oh, I can't. And then it's really the misery sets in, and then you argue with other people and it just compounds itself and gets worse and worse. So this is a fab card that says, again, you're out in nature, you're on top of a hill, you've got the whole world at you've got this beautiful view, this wonderful perspective of kind of being above it all. You're in control, and there isn't something internally that's really torturing you or causing you grief. So how fabulous is this? Have a look at the video on the eclipse. And excuse me, in that video, by the way, I had a cold. After I moved into this new place, the movers came, and I got two guys to come and help me move the stuff, because I had like some cupboards and stuff and it's heavy, and I wanted the two guys to do it for me. But one of them arrived and he was like, oh no, I can't touch anything, I've got a hernia. Which, it was, the whole service was just so bad, it was laughable almost. So I had to carry everything with the help of the other guy, and I just kind of overdid it. I wanted to get it done quickly, and I had this big cold. So in the video that I made on the weekly horoscope and the video on the eclipse, they're less than ideal because I was full of a cold and I was swallowing and coughing and everything. And someone mentioned that is absolutely disgusting, Greg. The way you're swallowing is disgusting. Well, I'm sorry, but I had a cold, you know? But hopefully, so I recognize that it's not ideal, but hopefully some of the information is still useful to you guys. So if you're not totally, some people, I can't remember the word, but there's a word for people who are very sensitive to sound, like smacking of the lips and swallowing and sniffling and stuff. It really irritates some people. So if you're one of those people who's super irritated by that, then, I'm sorry. But if you're not, then have a look at that video. I do think there's some very useful info in that. Check it out. Because the cards always give their own unique perspective, and they're giving a great perspective on this day. It's really about this harmony. And the eclipse itself talks about this energy in a different way through the astrology. But again, because it's the eclipse, this is going to kind of last for the next 6 months. So if you don't have any friends, be encouraged, you'll find some. If you have just been really annoyed for the last year or something, or it's been a really tough time and you've really struggled with your own feelings and your thoughts, maybe you've had intrusive thinking or just mental health problems and stuff, this really, really lifts things, and the environment that we're in does influence our state of mind. There's no rhyme and reason sometimes. If you look back on your life, there will be years where you've been kind of down and glum, and other years where you haven't been taking care of yourself and you felt fabulous. So what's the rhyme and reason behind that? There are lots of influences, and I really feel that the energies that I look at here in these readings, that's why I do the readings, are responsible for a lot of that. And the astrology as well influences us. And this is really a positive energy. So please look into it and make the most of it and be encouraged for this day and the next 6 months, because I'm going to remember this face just with the Mona Lisa smile, just comfortably sitting next to this giant cat there on top of the mountain. I love it. Okay, number-wise, we've got the Queen, that's 1, and 5 is 6, and 8 is 14, 1 and 4 is 5, and 5 in numerology is freedom. So freedom to think differently, the freedom to look at things in a way that's different to how you've seen things before. It's the freedom to choose again, the freedom to make new friends, the freedom to enjoy this inner peace, and a kind of break from yourself. And what I mean by that is if you're being, tortured by these inner demons, like what I mean by that is negative thoughts and problematic feelings. If that's constantly just, attacking you, if your head is going after you, that's no fun. And now this is quiet, and you can actually enjoy a little bit of time off from anything that's happening internally that kind of causes you difficulty. So there we go. I love it. I really, really love this. So have a wonderful day. If you would like a personal reading with me, please do get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, you scroll down a little bit and there's a button that says book your reading. You click on that and you can order your reading with me. In my personal readings, I use the tarot, astrology, numerology, and my intuition. I combine them all the way I combine the cards with the numbers here. I combine all 4 things. And that really allows me to look at what's going on for you, to answer any questions you've got. The progress chart, the transits, the astrocartography, and the astrology, it allows me to look at timings around when is a good time to make decisions, when things are likely to be easiest, what places are going to work for you. In terms of your birth chart, it shows me your vocational aptitudes, your life purpose, what's destined for you in certain areas, so friendships, spiritual awakenings, personal development, money, communication, thinking, friendships, family life, children, romance, work, daily routine, physical health. Anything that really is unclear, or you want some guidance, or you just want a second pair of eyes to have a look, then please do get in touch with me for a personal reading. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, hit subscribe and share the video online. And if you don't, then don't. Just another aside here, but I made a video the other day about skating around St. Stephen's Dome here in Vienna. And for me, that was really, I'm not exaggerating here, but that was really one of the happiest days of my life. I had this desire to skate around that church, and I realized that I was going to have to put a lot of things in place if that was ever going to happen, like to come here and to have the cable out of the boxes, to charge the actual skateboard, and to do everything. And when I got there, it just kind of felt to me like I'd landed and I'd arrived. And I was skating around for ages, and then I decided to film a little bit of it and to put it online just so you guys could see. And 4 people have downvoted that, which, I mean, is nothing. There's a lot of upvotes, and I'm very grateful. And everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But it just was so freeing to me, because I just looked at that and I was like, do you know what? If people can downvote one of the happiest moments of my life, then I really don't need to be so concerned about what other people think of me. I really don't. It's a personal experience. I chose to share it. People are free to like or dislike or whatever. And it was just because it was so happy for me and such a positive experience that those downvotes for me are laughable. Because it's just such a happy moment, and nothing is going to take that away from me. It was like really a bucket list moment, and it's a huge achievement for me to be able to do that. So it just kind of put that into a whole different perspective, and it's just like, don't worry so much about, people's... And I mean, I do have to say, I'm very lucky. The day before, I'm sorry, I'm just rambling today, but the day before yesterday, I used the Medieval Scapini Tarot, and Ambika, thank you Ambika, she sent me that deck in the post. So I'm very blessed. I mean, who in their job, in a regular job, gets sent tools to work with that they love and adore? I mean, I know I'm very, very blessed and lucky, and I value and appreciate that. So I've got to be grateful for those kind of things, but at the same time, you also get, some negative stuff, and that's okay. And that video with the skating stuff really, really made it okay, that certain people aren't going to like what you do, regardless of what it is. And it was just really liberating to realize that. I mean, yeah, it's just amazing. Okay, so maybe for me, that's one way of seeing less conflict. You see, not having to defend or to bother that someone doesn't like what I'm doing, and just to realize that for me it was a wonderful, glorious experience, and that is enough, and I don't have to defend or explain, and that's peace of mind to me. So however this comes through for you, I hope you have a wonderful day. Do get in touch via my website if you'd like to speak to me, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.